If you follow my content regularly, you may have heard me talk about what I call the Chinese finger trap problem, or the finger trap problem. The idea, like you know those things are, they're little straw things. You put your finger in, you pull, you can't get your fingers out. You have to push in, and then you can get out. It's a puzzle that's meant to be counterintuitive. It's very, very simple. You would assume pulling out your fingers is the thing to do. It's not. You got to push your fingers in. Well, one of the problems, this exemplifies one of the problems we see often on the left, and on the right too, but a lot on the left. Excuse me, the inability to think ahead. So you've got a problem, and then instead of solving the problem, you jump to the obvious solution you think makes sense and make everything worse. They don't think about the ramifications of their actions. Case in point, this tweet from Ocasio-Cortez. Wayfair workers couldn't stomach they were making beds to cage children. Full stop. Beds don't cage children. What are you talking about? They weren't making beds to cage children. No one at these detention centers is taking a stack of beds and surrounding children with them. I get what you're trying to say, but it still doesn't make sense. The beds are an accommodation for children who are being detained. They need beds. She goes on. They asked the company to stop. CEO said no. Tomorrow, they're walking out. This is what solidarity looks like. A reminder that everyday people have real power as long as we're brave enough to use it. That's right, Ocasio-Cortez. These kids do not deserve beds. I demand Wayfair stop providing beds to children. These kids should be sleeping on the floor. No, they shouldn't. That's absurd. The bed company isn't caging the children. She wanted to fit cage in her silly tweet. No one at Wayfair is caging anybody. They're helping these kids, giving them beds. They need beds. They're sleeping on the ground. Please, give them beds. What are you talking about? Listen, whether or not the kids have beds won't change the fact they're being detained. So for all that is holy, please, can we help these kids out with toothbrushes and water and beds? This is what I refer to as an example of the finger trap problem. They think, oh my God, we're providing supplies to a camp. Let's not do that. Congratulations, you've made the conditions worse. And here she is cheering it on. Oh my God. Wow. Someone made a funny comment. He said, that's great. Once Wayfair fires them for leaving the job, some of those illegals can apply for a job and work visa win-win. A little too offensive for my taste. I don't like saying illegal as a definition of a person. I would call them an illegal immigrant, fine, but I know I'm pulling hairs. But let's look at the actual story here. What do we have? A story about people who make beds for kids who think the kids shouldn't have beds. Okay, I don't know what you think should happen. Like, should we just open the door and say, go on, kiddies, out into the desert with all of you. Nobody wants to provide for you, so you're free to go. And then they just start aimlessly wandering the desert? What do you think is going to happen? It's insane. Do you think that by depriving the children of resources, the government will say, okay, we're not going to detain them anymore? No, the kids got to be put somewhere. So give them beds. This is such an insane story. My God. Oh, geez. I apologize. I have gotten emails from people saying don't use the Lord's name in vain. And I'll respect that, so I apologize. And I'll do better. I'll do better for everybody. I try to be not offensive. Wayfair workers to walk off job over partnership with detention centers. Hundreds of employees of online home goods company call on it to stop furnishing border camps. Yes, because the kids should be sleeping on the floor. From The Guardian, hundreds of employees of the online home goods company Wayfair will stage a walkout on Wednesday in protest against its involvement in furnishing border camps. Employees organizing the walkout at the firm's Boston headquarters say they demanded the company stop its partnership with a government contractor to provide beds with detained immigrants. We believe the current actions of the United States and their contractors at the southern border do not represent an ethical business partnership Wayfair should choose to be a part of. The letter signed by 547 employees said. We have a tweet from Wayfair, but I'm going to do a pause real quick. Go to timcast.com/donate if you haven't already. I apologize. I can't keep track of how many times I mentioned this, but there's multiple ways to donate there. I won't keep it too long because I know I say it a lot, but I really do require support, especially as Google has given the ban hammer to a lot of channels. And now I'm learning that suggestions are down. Share the video if you like it and think people should hear it. I appreciate it. Wayfair walkout tweeted, Wayfair is confirmed to be selling beds to the border camps. Employees asked for the order to be canceled and management said no. Everyone deserves a home they can feel safe and loved in, especially children, no matter where they're from. But you're not offering them that. The kids have nowhere to go. Many of these kids came here by themselves unaccompanied. What do we do with them? Okay? We put them in a detention center. And at that capacity, my understanding is that for the kids, they're I don't know what you want to call them, man. It's a semantic debate. We can call them whatever they want. They're kids being held in holding facilities, detention centers, whatever. They're not concentration camps, but they do need accommodations. If you don't want to provide them, well, then don't be surprised when you see photos of kids sleeping on floors. Plain and simple. Through a contract with BCFS Health and Human Services, a Texas not-for-profit organization, Wayfair sold $200,000 worth of bedroom furniture to furnish a camp in Carrizo Springs, Texas, where up to 3,000 migrant children will be detained, employees said. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Through a contract with BCFS Health and Human Services, a nonprofit, they sold beds. So you mean to tell me a nonprofit raised money for beds so these kids can sleep on a bed and the employees are refusing to do it? I'm sorry. I think we're confused here. This isn't a story about left-wing activists trying to reject detention centers. This sounds like a story about a bunch of far-right extremists who are angry that their beds would accommodate children, migrant children. A nonprofit bought the beds. Like a nonprofit had a contract to buy beds. That sounds like activists helping the children. And what is going on? This is a Chinese finger trap, right? These people think they're helping. You're making it worse. And Ocasio-Cortez is so insanely irresponsible, she infuriates me. 47,000 retweets. Congratulations. A nonprofit raised money for beds, and you're cheering on the children not getting them. What is happening? Oh, geez. The protest comes as the U.S. government and Trump administration has come under fire for poor conditions at border facilities and the deaths of at least 6 children. How about the 7 people found dead crossing the border? 6 kids? Great. There were 7 outside the camps. On Monday, more than 300 children were moved from an overcrowded facility after attorneys who visited said detainees were left with inadequate food, water, and sanitation. An official from the Trump administration said on Tuesday that children detained in facilities did not need basic products like soap, toothbrushes, and blankets. I condemn that wholeheartedly. I reject that, and I condemn it in no uncertain terms. That statement is insane. 100%. I have no problem calling the regressive left insane and calling these people insane if they think they can hold kids without soap, toothbrushes, or blankets, or beds. And I'm going to call Ocasio-Cortez insane for cheering on the kids not getting their beds. I feel like there are adults and there are children. And Ocasio-Cortez and her fans are children. They don't think about what comes next. They say, haha, we're protesting your facility by taking the beds away from the kids. Okay, whatever you say. But guess what? They're then going to complain that there's no beds. Well, it's your fault, dude. Man, they even obstructed the humanitarian aid package. In the letter to Wayfair, protesters asked the company to cease the contract and donate $86,000 of the profits it has made thus far from these sales to Races, a not-for-profit immigration legal service focusing on reuniting families and children separated at the border. Races said it would welcome such a donation. I'm all for Races reuniting families. I don't like the idea of families being separated. It's not a simple cut and dry solution, but you're talking about taking money from a nonprofit and donating it to a different nonprofit. Read, plan. It's called shooting from the knee. They're not paying attention. They're just saying, hey, let's do it. And then they make everything worse. We applaud Wayfair workers who are walking out to protest Wayfair profiting from detention centers. Races wrote on its official Twitter account, no one who works for a company profiting from these camps should be standing idly by as children are dying. This takes a village. They're dying outside, man. In a response to the letter, the leadership team at Wayfair said it would continue to fulfill orders for all customers acting within the laws of the countries in which it operates. This does not indicate support for the opinions or actions of the groups or individuals who purchase from us. They made the right choice. Companies should not be making political decisions. Period. I take that back. To a certain degree, I accept this, but listen, we're talking about kids who need beds and what to do with these kids. How do we help them? How can we accommodate them? We're not talking about like the Klan trying to have a rally where they lay in beds. We're talking about facilities where children are staying that have bad conditions, and they have an opportunity to fix that. Ocasio-Cortez wiggles her arms in the air, screaming about how happy she is to hurt these kids. I'll leave it there, man. I don't want to prattle on this subject for forever. You get the point. Ocasio-Cortez is happy kids don't have beds. Headline. I'll read one more paragraph because they mention other people. The action received support on Tuesday from Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, as well as prominent progressive lawmakers, including AOC and Ayanna Pressley. Bravo, Democrats! Thank you for ensuring children have no beds. Stick around. I got one more story coming up for you in a few minutes, and I will see you shortly.